So it is definitely starting to look a lot like E3 season out there, otherwise known as Gamer Christmas, because we now have a bunch of different companies starting to make their own plans official. We have insiders in the industry confirming certain dates that showcases will take place, and then we also have entirely separate companies announcing new games this week. So in today's video, I want to talk about all of the different announcements to come and how this will affect Nintendo's E3 2021 Direct presentation. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on the bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now guys, today we're kicking it off with a major announcement actually from Sega, and we have a lot of different things to go through today because, as I mentioned in the intro, all these announcements and new information are coming out one after the other, and we have what seems to be a very exciting week of game announcements, the first of which will be kicked off from Sega and the Sonic team, as they have now officially announced they will be holding a, I guess you could call it a Sonic 30th anniversary direct, or a celebration of some sort for Sonic's 30th anniversary. And there has been a bunch of different rumors floating around with this franchise recently, one of which I made a video on myself, which was the Sonic Colors remaster that is heavily rumored and has already been listed on certain retailers online, probably by mistake. And then there's also been a bunch of talks recently about a new Sonic collection coming out. So I'm assuming that we're going to see some of those things announced, but let's read through the article real quickly so we know kind of what all information is out there so far and what games we can hopefully expect from this event when it goes live on May 27th. Sega is expected to reveal new Sonic the Hedgehog games and more during a 30th anniversary stream on May 27th. The official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account tweeted out today, "Did someone say news? Tune in at 9 a.m. Pacific time on 5/27 for a first look at the project's partnerships and events for our Sonic 30th celebration." Recent retail listings may have revealed plans to release a new Sonic the Hedgehog game collection and a Sonic Colors remastered this year. Sega previously promised to mark Sonic's 30th anniversary with the release of new games and some major announcements. Sonic team head Takashi Iizuka announced at South by Southwest Gaming 2019 that production on the next major Sonic the Hedgehog game was underway. So I think the for sure games that we can definitely expect to see from this Sonic presentation, as they're celebrating the 30th anniversary, is some throwback titles like the Sonic Colors port that's heavily rumored and is already trademarked and really out there on retail listings that got pulled down, and then definitely the Sonic Collection Pack, which will hopefully feature some games that we haven't seen before. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 actually has a bunch of licensing issues due to some of the music in that game, so maybe they've worked around that somehow and redone the soundtrack in some way, but that remains to be seen. But the big piece of news that could come from this event might be a entirely brand new mainline 3D or 2D Sonic game, whichever direction they want to go. Or imagine if they come out and announce Sonic Mania 2, something like that, because obviously that went over very well with fans, but we have yet to really see a team successfully pull off a 3D Sonic, and it would be great to maybe get an open world experience going. I do think that there's a very split fan reaction. Certain Sonics are very enjoyable in 3D and other ones just totally fall by the wayside and nobody's really a fan of them and they kind of feel like the same thing over and over. So I would love this new mainline Sonic game, whatever it may be, to be the big step forward that the series needs to get back in the mainstream, because we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog that used to compete head to head with Mario from Nintendo when Sega was back in their heyday on the Genesis, and even forward from there. I mean, Sonic was a household name just almost as much as Mario was, and almost all my friends growing up, you're either a Sonic kid or you're a Mario kid because you probably only had one system and not both. But that's not in the conversation anymore. Everybody knows Mario, and those games obviously dominate, and Sonic really has missed its window in the spotlight for quite some time now. So I would love to see the Sega team really slow down and deliver something massive that we're not expecting from the Blue Hedgehog, and hopefully we get a bunch of announcements besides this as far as like merch, and we may even see something like a movie update, as they are working on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in the theaters to be released supposedly as soon as April 2022. So there's a lot of exciting Sonic announcements to come, so make sure you're tuned in and ready to go on May 27th at 9 a.m. Pacific time if this is an event that you're going to want to watch live. Now, the next news that broke today that I really want to cover is actually a quick look at Skyward Sword HD and the actual controls and how this game will work with both the traditional and motion controls, which obviously we kind of already know what to expect with the motion controls because that was the original control style for the Wii, but we actually have Nintendo Everything putting out a new trailer that does kind of go through the different specific item scenarios and what they look like when they're attached to both motion and both the traditional controls. And I gotta be honest, guys, when I saw this trailer, there were some things that I didn't really think about up to this point, like the fact that you actually throw, items and bombs and arrows with the motion controls as well. So even stuff like that will be mapped to the analog stick, and it's a very short, like 16-second demonstration, but it does show some different footage that we haven't seen up to this point with what looks like to be like a Japanese build of the game. It's probably not fully finished, but somebody is definitely playing and demonstrating this, and it wasn't from Nintendo's direct channel, so I don't know exactly how Nintendo Everything got this footage, but it is kind of beneficial if you want to know exactly how things are going to work, like the bow and arrow mechanic and the throwing bombs mechanic. And then even it just kind of stuck out to me how fluid it looks like the control is mapped to Link's sword. I mean, it looks very like one-to-one whenever you're moving that analog stick even slightly, that it will trigger the motion to start with Link's hand. So it looks like it's going to be very good and enjoyable to play, but it is going to actually be quite a bit different than what we're used to with standard button controls in Legend of Zelda, because you're even certain points you're going to be using like both analog sticks to shoot an arrow, it looks like, and I'm curious to see how they're really going to pull that off and make it feel natural. So this was a trailer that was very brief, so I would like to see it in more detail, but again, new information that we have not had up to this point in Skyward Sword HD. And then the last major piece of news we have to cover today is Microsoft and the supposed date that they will be holding their E3 2021 press conference, because I do think this impacts when Nintendo holds theirs. And so if you look at Jeff Grubb, he has been, obviously we've talked about him numerous times on the channel, an insider in the industry, and he does have connections with people who are in the planning stages for things like this E3. And while he does not have an official Nintendo announced date at this point, he has reported that Microsoft will be holding their event along with Bethesda, as obviously they recently acquired them as a company, on June 13th. And that's a big deal because it probably means that we're not expecting Nintendo to hold it on the same day. So June 13th is a Sunday. We are doing different dates this year for E3, as typically it would kick off on a Monday, but now we're seeing it launch on a Saturday and run through a Tuesday. So Nintendo could take that Saturday spot and kick off the event. I personally would predict Nintendo to either be a Monday or Tuesday event though, as I think that they like to hit the middle of the week, and I do think that Tuesday might be the most likely. So we may be getting that Nintendo Direct on the very last day, which would be June 15th. But I want to briefly read through the announcement around Microsoft and the reason why this is a big deal. And then also Jeff Grubb has posted up a list of what other developers are going live at which time slots, and he doesn't have all of them yet, but he is continuing to update them as the information comes out. So I will continue to keep you guys informed, especially once we get Nintendo's official announcement and plans for what they are heading towards with E3 2021. Xbox's big summer showcase will reportedly take place on Sunday, June 13th. Speaking during a Twitch stream on Tuesday, VentureBeat's reporter Jeff Grubb also claimed Microsoft will officially announce the event later this week. Microsoft should for sure tell us this week, and that day is going to be June 13th, so Sunday, June 13th, he said. Grubb later added, and I believe it's going to be in the morning in America. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, but I could be wrong. Matt Booty, who recently up at Xbox Game Studios, recently confirmed that Xbox and Bethesda Softworks would hold a joint conference this summer to introduce players to their upcoming projects. Last week, he told French publication Le Figaro, I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it, that the event would take place in a few weeks, suggesting a mid-June timeframe coinciding with Summer Games Fest, which kicks off on June 10th, and E3 2021, which takes place June 12th through June 15th. So then besides that information, we also have Jeff Grubb, like I mentioned, making an entire list of what's to come for this whole Summer Games Fest and E3 combined. And so far, he has the following. So on May 26th, we have a Dragon Quest 35th anniversary live stream. May 27th, the Sonic event that we talked about. Sony even releasing just recently today, Horizon Forbidden West State of Play will also go live on May 27th. Dying Light 2 showcase on May 27th. May 28th is Chicken Brother. I have no clue what that is. And then before Summer Games Fest, you have Battlefield event. Then in June, not E3 related, but I guess other publishers will be holding their own events leading up to E3. June 5th, Indie Live Expo. June 5th, A&D 9 a.m. and then Guerrilla Collective. June 10th will be Summer Games Fest kickoff. June 11th will be the IGN Expo. June 12th will be Wholesome Games and Devolver. And then obviously the E3 kickoff also happens on June 12th. And so far we know to expect the Ubisoft Forward event to take place on the 12th and now Microsoft to take place on the 13th. So it's obvious that we're getting closer and closer to this E3 date as we now have the companies having to hammer out their plans and get the exact time slots and the dates picked out. And it's surprising that it's taken this long, but I do think it's because it's obviously an all digital event this year. And with that, guys, I think that we're right around the corner from seeing the official Nintendo news come out, and hopefully they even give us some kind of tease or tweet or something around what they will be focusing on at this E3 presentation. We probably won't get the big stuff, but sometimes they tend to say like tune in for the newest Smash character DLC announcement plus all these other announcements. So maybe we get some kind of hint or information as far as what we're in store for with this showcase. But if all the different rumors and leakers that are reporting about various different games that Nintendo are working on do come true, we have a ton of exciting announcements to sit back and be ready for at E3. So as Microsoft has announced the 13th, I think that means Nintendo does not hold it on that same day. I would be surprised if they hold it on the 12th. So my personal prediction is the 15th, being a Tuesday, is the most likely, and second to that would be the Monday on 14th. But at this point in the video, guys, I want to know your thoughts about all these various different announcements. What do you think about the new Sonic event that's taking place this week? Are you pumped for any potential new Sonic games or even these ports that may come over of collections and even Sonic Colors? And then also let me know your thoughts briefly on the Skyward Sword HD control schemes, and now that we have more information around them, if you're more or less hyped for that game. And then finally, when do you think Nintendo will hold this E3 presentation blowout that we're expecting, and what games do you most hope we see announced at that showcase? So please leave me your thoughts on that in a comment down below before you leave the video, and then also hop over to today's community poll where I will be asking you guys about this Sonic event and what games you're hoping that we do see announced from this event. So before you go do those couple things, I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around your thoughts as we get closer and closer to E3 2021. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out on this video if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.